Greetings metal community, it's Roger back with another collection update. This time only death metal. A lot of this stuff is 2021 releases that have arrived for various reasons, late, delays on vinyl and stuff like that. First one is a 10-inch by Cynabare Urne from Finland, called Fire the Torches. It's just a and they have both songs on both sides, so you can play the one side and spare the second one later. It has this great fold out. I like it when 10 inches just come in this paper stuff. Yeah, great death metal. Up tempo. There are blasting as well. Vocals are more towards, I would say, a bit towards Necros Christos or Sigyn in a way. Not some typical Swedish, Finnish sounding, but a great band. They did release an album in 2020, if I remember correctly, which was pretty good as well. In the background, as a lot of you already have guessed, Mortiferum from the United States. Preserved in Torment. Excellent album. I showed the CD last year and or in the lists and stuff, but I was kind of complaining a little bit about the snare. The snare sounds better on the vinyl. I kind of assumed it would. Vinyl is often a little bit more warm in the sound. Have this great booklet. So yeah, excellent release. Profound lore, of course. Great album. I love this. They're described as death doom, but I'm more like death metal with doomy parts. Great album. I guess most of you that are into death metal has already listened to this several times, but I just got it on vinyl the other day, so together with that I got the Apparition. Feel is the long title for this. Another great album. This has also more it's a lot of the same style of music, but they play more doomy or slower overall, I think, than compared to Mortiferum, but they are pretty similar in style and quality as well. Excellent release. Profound lore this as well. I think these are from Los Angeles and the Mortiferum from Washington or something, or the state of Washington at least. But yeah, these two albums are killer stuff. I mean, Profound Lore do dig up some really good bands. So if you like that modern, I call it modern death metal, doomy death metal, Apparition is, I would say close. They are close in quality, very close in quality. I don't know if I can pick one or the other. Then I bought this first album by Fuoco Fatuo. This album is called The Viper Slithers in the Ashes of What Remains. They are listed as a funeral doom, but this is not as near as murky and dark and devouring as the last year's release. I won't say it's simplistic, but it's more up tempo. It's not so dark, and more doom death than death doom on this album, I would say. The cool thing they have done with this is that it's a long one, but they have added the fifth track on a 7-inch instead of have to have a double vinyl. So I thought that was a cool idea. But yeah, if you like death doom, doomy death metal, or doom death close to funeral doom at some parts, Fatuo is excellent stuff. Great album. So but I'm guessing, you know, if you're into the album that came last year, you will sure have listened to this as well. If not, go and do so. Great stuff. Then we have one of the albums last year that you know, really wanted to get before you know, to get it on the list, and you know, that's the first and final album by Cadaver Fumes, released by Blood Harvest. This normal OB strip thing. Cadaveric Fumes, Echoing Chambers of Soul. Lovely cover as well. Yeah, I don't know what happened. A couple of members, there are members of Necrowretch and another, yeah, Benefiction from France as well, of course. Great album. A couple of these songs have feel to like Van Helg from Sweden. There are parts here that sounds like Load Blast, and there are parts here that are similar to Necrowretch and Benefiction. They was active for, I don't know, you say 8 years or something, 8-9 years, and released this one, and that was the end of it. Great death metal album. This would be in my top 20 for 2021 for sure. Really dig this album. I played it a lot this week. So yeah, Cadaver Fumes. This is a killer album. I don't know if it's because of the Benefiction and Necrowretch that they don't have the time or the energy to do it, but it's a shame that they have stopped. They did release some EPs and demo. I do have a compilation CD from 2016 with them, with all their you know, demos and EP stuff. Then, you know, I finally got this in the mail. Resurgence Massacre. Don't need much introduction. Pretty good album. I won't say it's a killer album, but it delivers. It sounds almost like old Massacre. Of course, new members, you won't get the same. I don't get the same kind of rawness that the first album has, but you know, people get older. Still a very good album. Didn't disappoint at all. So. But I kind of lower my expectations a little bit, as I do when bands or, you know, band names like this pops up after, you know, 20 years or so, 30 years maybe. It's always a risk that they are not doing it well, but Massacre does not shame the name. Then I got the new Unleashed, also a 2021, No Sign of Life. Love this cover. Yeah, I forgot. I bought a big t-shirt with this as well, but I forgot to take that. Yeah. And this album is kind of, I don't know what to say. I feel they are a little bit lighter, a little bit more melodic, and I was thinking about a little bit necrophobic feel to this album compared to the earlier stuff or the previous stuff. A great album. I really like this. Don't remember what the previous album was called, but that was not. Yeah, it didn't hit me as good. But this really, yeah, really great. The only thing I would have wanted to have a kind of a thicker kind of rhythm guitar, because the leads are to kind of get the leads to pop out more, because the leads and the solos here are great. So I mean, if you're a fan of Unleashed, I'm sure you will not be disappointed. If you haven't heard Unleashed, I mean, do check them out. They are kind of a lighter form of death metal, not as heavy and brutal, but really enjoy most of their stuff. And this album is really good. Then we're gonna end it with an old classic. Never had this on any format, just a dub tape back in the day. Brutal through extreme conditions. Yeah, everybody knows about this album. Grindy death metal, more towards the English scene, you know, Napalm Death, stuff like that, early Napalm Death. Yeah, and it's an Eric reissue, pretty well done. I do think it was black vinyl as it should be. Yeah, as I said, it's just a classic. I'm not like a big fan of the grind scene, but this album is just, it has enough death metal for me to enjoy it, and it was really, I don't think I've listened to this yeah, for 20 years. It was really fun to listen to it again, and it was just as good as I expected it to be. So yeah, that was a death metal haul. As I try to make these shorter videos now, so I'm in a good role. I do have more stuff. I do have at least one more thrash video to shoot, but there's a couple of albums that I need to listen to, and there will also be some black metal as well. Hopefully I will do it during this week, but we have to wait and see. And yeah, thanks as always for watching and commenting and all that good stuff, and we will see you soon. Be short.